What is going on, guys? We are back with another video today. We're doing another rebuild on Madden 22, and today is of the New York Jets. Now, I don't expect to do too many rebuilds like in a row. I want to have content from here until Madden 23, and obviously I do kind of want to wait for the draft as well, so maybe you'll see one, here or there, but I wanted to get this one out quickly because the Jets had a very, very good first round and a very fun one. Just speaking of real life importance and fun and in-game going forward, the Jets are going to be a super fun team. You got a very strong arm, young quarterback that you can develop, a young running back, several young wide receivers, O-line. You got a ton of fun with Jeromepkr. We'll get a little bit more into his situation a little bit if there is one, if rumors are true. D-line, you have a lot of young, really good pieces there. Linebackers, a little bit of speed. Well, just kind of Nisraldine. Cornerback, there's a ton of potential. I mean, this Jets team is giving me, I wouldn't say Jaguars vibes from last Madden because the Jaguars were pretty good, but honestly, maybe even better. I mean, they're a very young team with a very high upside. The Jets are, rebuilding the right way. I mean, they did really well, obviously, to grab Jermaine Johnson near the end of the first round instead of grabbing him where he may have went at 10. As a Packers fan who wanted wide receiver, I wish they would have taken him at 10, but instead they got Garrett Wilson, a super slippery, deep threat guy. We're going to go take a look at the roster real quick. Of course, this is just the round one, so if you're watching this after day 2 has begun, I apologize. I kind of wanted to get a jump on one of the rebuild teams, and this one's the one that I kind of feel like, I wouldn't say their splashes are over, because they could actually go like right tackle or safety or someone really big impact, because they do have still a lot of really good picks. But overall, I wanted to get one of these done, and this seemed like the most fun to me. I put Garrett Wilson as the number 1 already. Corey Davis, I don't know if he was injured last year. Just didn't really have a good year. I imagine it was injury. Jeromepkr. I've been hearing things that the Jets could move on from him already. Apparently, he was, at one point in time, 400 pounds last season, which is just crazy. Obviously, in Madden, we're not going to do that, and we'll see what happens if more details come out. He's a freak in the game. Absolute monster. Of course, Garrett Wilson, you probably want to see the rookie ratings more than anything. This is what we, made him as. 94 speed, 94 excel, 95 agility. I forgot to actually change jumping. That's a my B. A pretty good balanced receiver with some pretty good juke ability. Obviously, I didn't go too high with it because, of course, the game, kind of usually has the juke rating pretty low. And even I think, what's his name? The damn Kadarius Toney was barely 90, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. He was pretty low. The traits, don't worry about. I had to build him off some random rookie, and we've already proven in many videos, experiment videos, that traits just don't matter. And then you look at the defensive side of things. Jermaine Johnson, I gave him star dev, and Sauce Gardner, I gave superstar. So here's Jermaine Johnson. I boost their ages to what they're going to be when the season starts. I know it's a little weird because in-game everyone's a year younger anyways, but pretty damn athletic, very solid power move, decent enough finesse, decent enough block shed, maybe could have upped that. Strength's pretty damn good. I mean, he's just a really good player, obviously, and they got a real steal there. Could have even made him superstar if I really wanted to, but I don't want too many superstars. But Sauce Gardner with the superstar dev, 75-man, 73 zone, very modest, very good ratings for athleticisms. And, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much him. Let's get on to it. Let's start the, if you even want to call it a rebuild anymore, realistically, kind of look for secondary and linebacker, and I mean, the team just needs to play, and they're kind of already building up themselves. In this one, I could have projected their second, third, and all that round picks, which is once again why I don't want to do too many rebuilds before the rosters are actually kind of set a little bit. But yeah, I'm just gonna go with we're gonna act as if the draft is done. Those are the players they have, and then we'll move on. But also, if you guys enjoy rebuilds and you enjoy the draft content, franchise, any of that stuff, maybe leave a like, maybe subscribe. Once again, if you're new. And, yeah, follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr. Just tweet around, some draft things here or there. And then maybe second channel, PKR Plays, which I've super neglected, but we'll be back, probably. Wait, is this new? Did they get rid of the, the normal injury stuff? Plus to morale, negative to awareness, plus to XP, negative to stamina. I guess XP? I don't know. Wow, that sucks. So what, like going forward, if you're an injury-prone player, you're just screwed, I guess? That's not good. Do we have re-signings? Joyner, what kind of... I can't imagine Joyner was more than a one-year deal, right? As a one-year 2.6, I just don't see it. Kickers... Zerline's old. Pinheiro is a random name at this rate. I mean, I feel like you could just do better, or just... Not even better, but you could just not have to pay anyone. Just grab some randomer. Tyler Conklin might be a decent player, but... not in Madden. So I don't know how this is going to look in real life, but in game, they have us as a 3-14 roster. Now, I didn't expect this. I thought maybe it would be like a 7-10 team at worst. But we ended up going 3-14, so maybe I should have went with the real life roster. I just didn't want the rebuild to be about next year's players when we're just getting into this year's players realistically, as far as them playing on NFL rosters. So I wanted to leave them out, but with, I guess you can still pretend like it's the two great quarterbacks, but you can see here, Zach Wilson's picks were a little high, but his touchdowns were decent, and his yards were decent. Rushing was pretty bad, actually. Garrett Wilson was solid, but so was every receiver pretty much. But, the trade down would be immense if they're going to stick with Zach Wilson, which those numbers kind of tell me they probably would, right? I mean, I can't imagine they wouldn't, but that's a massive trade down. I think, the Jets would be looking to trade down for number 1. Assuming we have number 1. I mean, top 2, whatever it is, We did not win a single award either. I didn't show it because it's just, there's no point. Also, I kind of glanced. Did we even look at the defensive numbers? Let's go back real quick. I kind of got, carried away with myself here a little bit. Defensively, did we actually look? I can't even remember. Oh, yeah, we did, but we just went on. So 7 sacks from Jermaine Johnson. Once again, pressures matter more than sacks. We're just going to assume 7 sacks means a pretty good season. It's a decent season. Interceptions, Gardner with 1 interception, 10 deflections, 36 catches allowed. I mean, it's just a stat that doesn't actually reflect anything. So can't actually tell how good Sauce was, but either way, I mean, there was some pretty good individual performances for a 3-14 team. I just don't know. I mean, once again, we're lower overalls. There's a lot of high devs, star plus devs, and they're all young. But they are low overall, so I get why we would be kind of bad out the gate, but I'd imagine that's not going to stay stay the case that long. As the Ravens, who I don't even know who their wide receiver is at this rate, win the Super Bowl. That's something. Let's take a look at any dev-ups, maybe even Wilson, just because of the yards. And he does. He actually goes to superstar. He's only a 76 overall, which is, I mean, this is a little weird, but I mean, I'm not going to deny it. I'm just going to be honest with you. Of course, there's a couple other guys, maybe even Corey Davis that could have went up in dev. Defensively, Jermaine Johnson's a superstar. He's in 77 overall with that morale drop, but very solid player. 81 power move. Didn't really upgrade too much for himself. And then I think that was pretty much just the devs. Davis maybe, and I think Davis was already star as well. Nisraldine, I think, went up to star, but a lot of regressions for morale. But once again, that's just morale. That's just a now thing. Corner, I think, is pretty much set. Safety is absolutely a need. 78 overall for Ashtyn Davis, who's not, like, terrible. 79 zone. I mean, maybe usable, but strong safety, probably. Whitehead's like, what, 28? 25. I don't know what the hell got over me with that 28, but linebacker's up there. O-line is up there. Tight end could be an option, but we'll just see what's kind of there. But obviously, this is going to be a more than likely trade down. So it says we have about 70 mil. We have some negotiations. Tyler Conklin, I mean, it's just not, like, in real life, maybe, but in game, it's just not a signing that makes any sort of sense for us. The Javelin, I'm going to miss him. But these are all kind of backup level talents, especially with their age and their overalls. I suppose that's kind of what would determine who's good or bad, right? Their dev and their overall or their age. I guess I didn't mention dev, so actually, never mind. So free agency is going to be looking pretty weak here. Melvin Gordon, who has kind of been just getting one-year deals lately, is in free agency. Wouldn't be the worst kind of signing for us, but a 4-year deal, I can't do that. Akeem Hicks, just not a need. Odell, just not the biggest need. Devin McCourty would probably be retired before he leaves the Patriots. Bryce Callahan, not a need. Jarvis, not really a need. I mean, these are all guys that we just don't really need. Bulaga, but at this point in real life, I don't even think he would be this good even. But, yeah, I mean, I feel like you kind of just save your money. There's not really a whole lot going in free agency. Ooh. Ronnie Harrison, actually. I kind of like me some Ronnie Harrison. We got some money to spend. Safety's one of our bigger needs, I suppose. I guess we'll pay him. 5-year 40 for him is pretty lucrative, especially with the safety market. I'm cool with that. Like, I do get they just paid Whitehead, but I just don't see Whitehead as the starter for us. I mean, I'll actually take a look at Whitehead. I might be giving him a little bit of the short stick here, because if he's an 80 overall normal 25, and Ronnie Harrison is an 80 overall star 25, you're just missing a dev up, which in theory could actually be a positive, because once again, we've said it a billion times if you watch our rebuilds, that dev ups specifically for safety aren't the hardest things to get. I'm going to give him a fair shake. I see dev, I see happiness, but you know what? Damn, Jordan Whitehead is pretty bad in the game, actually, but I think we'll rock with him, I guess. He's on contract for another year. We don't have the right contract money, I will admit, but neither does half the league, so it's fair across the board. If you're lazy with the contracts and the realism across the board, it's just unrealistic for everyone. And then someone's going to be like, but the title! It's like, relax. I just wish it was a little bit more like real life, where you can pretty much see if an offensive lineman's going to be pretty decent, you know, in game. There's really no reason to grab a lineman top 5 overall. Like, there's almost, like, I don't know if I've ever seen some lineman with, like, A across the board or something like that, you know? But there's a very solid looking quarterback that's top 5. I may be trading down to, I mean, I don't know what at this rate, but, you know, something decently down, I suppose. But really just looking for a guaranteed god at lineman. I think that's what this team would do if they ended up with another top 5 pick, with the intention of keeping Zach Wilson as the starter. So I know it's not super realistic, but for Madden, I think this is the best move for us, which is just to go for a kicker, which is going to be Matt Gay. He's decent enough, 96 kick power, 83 accuracy, a 3-year 12, which is okay, I guess. Maybe a little overpaid for kicker, I guess. I just wish the draft picks trades were a little bit more realistic. You can pretty much get, like, almost any player by trading just stupid stuff, but when it comes to draft picks, when it actually makes sense, they're like, no. Like, 26 this, 26 next projected. Like, no, I'm not going to be doing that. So for Detroit to jump all the other teams, they end up trading us pick 5, 15, and 69 for pick 1. Which, if it's not quarterback, I will cry. And it is Donnie North. Of course, the Giants, it said they needed quarterback. They went with Mark Jackson. Instead, they offered us that stupid third-round pick that was nothing at all for us. But pick number 5, I might actually take a player up here, and it might be a lineman. The only thing that sucks is, like, the only decent lineman that I think is worth guaranteed to take up here is the left guard, Zach Monroe. It is a guard, though. Of course, you do see that D pass block, but overall, I think he's good enough. I mean, all the other guys are kind of trash. This is, you know, this team would be taking a lineman in the top 5 if they had a chance. I don't really like him, though. I think he's kind of bad, but I'm just going to take him anyways. He's like the highest there. I think they had a story about him, but whatever. Zach Monroe, hopefully for a hidden, and yes, he is. Not super athletic, decently strong, but he's smaller for a guy. I mean, he's 6'3", 320. I guess he's a guard, but I don't know, dude. It's just a weak class. There's a really good quarterback, so the trade down makes sense, but, you know, or the trade up, if you will, if you're looking at the other side of it. And then you have pick 15, where a team's pretty much given us the same offer as a team that was moving from that to pick 1. It just doesn't make any sense at all. But I'm going to take the Saints pick. They're going to give us a first round this year and a second round next year to move up to 15, which is, I mean, it's kind of fair. It's more, a little bit in our favor, but it is what it is. I don't really care. Pick 21, I think, is going to be a linebacker for us. We desperately need one. We could also get rid of C.J. Mosley based on real-life numbers. And Dante Bowers, I think, is that linebacker. Got a B tackle, extremely athletic, and he's going to be ours. So Bowers, hidden development trait, very athletic, decent jumping, actually, for a rookie. Decent, change of direction as well for a rookie linebacker. And now at pick 1, do you risk the trade? Actually, it wasn't. I think it was a 2 to 3, wasn't it? I think we have all 2 to 3s left. Let me just make sure. I don't want to lose the tackle. He looks pretty damn good. AABB, and he's pretty athletic. I think we can grab him at pick 1 in the second round, though. And with this pick, we're going to be taking the tackle, Taylor King. We're going to be playing him at right. Please be hidden. And he is. 90 strength. I don't know why he's jumping so high, but okay athleticism. Team's already kind of turning around, even though we were 3 and 14, so we'll see, but it looks pretty good to me. The center is 3 to 4. He looks so good as well, though. I think we're going to trade up to 24 and just move down there. We got a couple of guys here that I'm just hoping are decent. What about Malachi Faulkner? We don't really need safety, but Yeah, I didn't really get to fully scout him. He looks all right, but you don't really know a whole lot about him. You know, like the linebacker, he had a couple of other things. I just kind of brought up tackling because it was the first thing that showed up. We trade 69 this and 106 next year for pretty damn good value for us with the Cardinals. And with that pick, 23, I thought it was going to be like 24, 25. We're likely going to take the center if he's there. If not, I mean, I'm just hoping somebody's there. We could use multiple linebackers with or without Mosley, so keep that in mind as well. And the center is still there. The tight end's there too. He wasn't super athletic, but I mean, he's a decent player. I don't know. I don't really like all of that, to be honest. I'd rather just not. I'm going Matthew Jones, but I was just kind of thinking about the tight end for the next pick. But another offensive lineman and another hidden offensive lineman. I will say that strength and speed's pretty rough, but looks good of a player anyways. Go to pick 1 in the 3rd round. See if our linebacker is there, and Parham is. Max Parham, B zone coverage, pretty damn athletic. Let's make sure we don't have anyone else. The tight end did go, so maybe he was a decent player. Could go with Amani Ali. He was okayly athletic. Of course, really raw with that D, but wow, I definitely said that, didn't I? Let's go Max Parham. Screw it. Linebacker, add another hidden. Oh my. I mean, linebackers are real hit or miss. I mean, you can land the guys with the most speed in the world, the guys with the best ratings or based potential, but they could just be normal. They could be great players, but they could be normal, and we're just hitting. Seattle has pick 99 as well as 97, so we're just going to trade 129, 169, and 187. Kind of give them bulk picks, which they kind of need. They're missing a lot of players, so they kind of need the quantity a little more than the quality. Obviously, our overalls are low, but we have pretty much a solidified starter that just, once again, needs to play more snaps. Of course, wait, actually, is my safety there? Oh, he is there. I don't know why my brain was like, I don't see the safety. But Jimmy Bailey, very athletic. I mean, do you just replace the entire linebacking squad with rookies? I'm just saying. Emmanuel Rout, another kind of outside linebacker. We just got a hidden one, so maybe it's worth trying again. And then Amani Ali, who I mean, he's looking really raw, but he's insanely athletic, actually. How tall is he? Yeah, I'm going to go Amani Ali. Normal development trait, but 90 speed, 90 excel, 89 agility at 6'2". That jumping is rough. Change of direction we don't talk about. And we do have another 5th round pick, I believe. So I might just go until one of those linebackers goes and just grab a whole damn list of them. Grab the whole squad, why not? I have no idea who I want more. I think the outside linebacker probably has a better chance to be hidden, but the middle linebacker in general probably is going to be better. Well, I guess we're going to test if the outside linebacker has a better chance to be hidden. We're going to trade up with the Giants, I guess. Do the Giants want C.J. Mosley? I don't know why they would. I don't even know if they can afford him. I mean, we can't even afford him. I also am worried that his real-life contract isn't obviously accounted for in-game. Let's not do that. Let's just do this. I mean, that seems like a little bit of a reach, but we are giving him decent value back, I guess. Another one of those quantity teams, I suppose, as we're going to be taking our last pick in the 4th. Once again, I don't know how realistic that is, but at least the trades are decently realistic, and then, obviously I'm not trading for some huge name player, but Emmanuel Rout, we're going to grab him, and he is normal, but once again, athletic as hell, very good change of direction, very good jumping for, once again, a linebacker. Even though he's 6'1", 228, he's barely a linebacker at that rate. Just a heavy corner. But, like real life, drafted a bunch of hiddens. It's a pretty good draft back-to-back. We obviously just drafted like almost a whole offensive line, almost a whole linebacking group. I don't know what their overalls are going to be, but C.J. Mosley is probably going to be gone. 73 overall, 74, 73, 74, 72. Free safety is a little bad, but all the linebackers and all the guys that are expected to start, which, is everyone but Ali, they look pretty good. So we'll take a look at their devs. Actually, I don't even care about their devs. We'll just wait for the devs to, reveal themselves. I'm going to change their positions, but there's really no point in even looking at their devs. They're all starters anyways. Okay, I'll look at his devs since we're already going to right tackle. So star development trait. Bowers or Monroe. I think we need him at right guard, right? Zach Monroe, the top pick of our draft class. Number 5 overall is going to be playing that right outside linebacker role. What is his dev? Oof. You see, I just don't like drafting him, dude. It's just like, what's even the point? But yeah, let's trade or release Mosley. I don't know what kind of value Mosley would even have, but yeah, I mean, our team is super young with high potential. This is a fun team, dude. I'm telling you. The Jets are going to be a sought-after team in Madden. I honestly see them, like I said, as a team that's maybe even too good already. You just have so many players that are just, like, young and developable that it's just, you know, where's the challenge? You have your quarterback set. You have your, what is that called? You have your quarterback set. You have your wide receivers, if you use an Elijah Moore, set. You need a tight end. Half the offensive line set. The D-line's completely set. You know, you need like a linebacker or two, corner set, free safety, strong safety you can work with. I probably would remove, you know, Whitehead, but you know, you got to remove those Whiteheads. But yeah, I don't know. It seems like too good of a team on paper in Madden. Obviously, in real life, it's a completely different story, but in game, they seem like, I don't know, they don't really even seem like that much of a challenge. Of course, the Jags still been looking for a decent linebacker for a while now. They got Devin Lloyd in real life, but CJ Mosley for a 6th-round pick, it's nothing spectacular for either side. Seems like it's been so long ago that CJ Mosley was for the playing for the Ravens, doesn't it? Seems like it's been ages ago, which, I mean, I suppose it technically probably has been. Damn it, Elijah Vera Tucker was right guard. Laken Tomlinson's actually a decent player. 81 overall. I guess maybe we didn't need the guard right away. We're really going to be sitting the 5th pick overall on the freaking bench? No shots. This is not allowed. Do I trade Laken off for like a 3rd or a 4th? I mean, he's probably got a decent bit of value. Starting caliber linemen aren't easy to come by, but we don't really need them, so I guess we're going to trade off some starting caliber linemen here. Oh my, I don't think George Fant's going to be valuable to anyone. McGovern's a center, but Laken Tomlinson's very quality, and he's on a pretty fair contract, and he's star dev, so I think that's a guy that's worthy of trade. Literally starting an entire rookie linebacker group, which in Madden is like just like overflow of brain cells. Like you're looking at that, you're like, oh, who do I up? You know, who do I user? Who do I upgrade? There's just too much. I'm gonna die. Wait, am I doing this all? And I might be doing this all before we actually get to the regular season, aren't I? Or the preseason? Or do they just have no draft picks? Okay, yeah, fair enough. I was about to say, I was like, I need a trade here, and I can't find any picks. So we trade Laken Tomlinson to the Falcons for projected 123 this and 205 next. All right, so we're an 81 overall, which isn't great. It's not terrible either. Once again, we have a very young squad with high devs, so that can jump very quickly. Speaking of jumping very quickly, Garrett Wilson has become the #1 here. Without a doubt. Medium and deep routes pretty solid. Release is getting up there. Catching getting up there. You might even gained an excel or an agility. I can't tell what it was. But Zach Wilson, 76 overall. Superstar now after that last season, which was, I mean, it was superstar-like, but it was a little too gunslinger for my liking. But looking at the offensive line, the best young line in the league. It's just, I can't even say best, but it's got a lot of potential. We could definitely use a tight end. Might even pay a big ticket one in free agency with the amount of money we have. Defensively, I mean, realistically, you potentially look to replace right outside linebacker, but we'll see how route plays. Maybe look at the 2 safeties. But honestly, everyone across the board, 2 safeties, maybe running back, and tight end. I mean, we have everyone else that's ready to go. They're all starting talent, you know. We're going to start them and develop them. After last season's, like, you know, the meme where it's like, our expectations were low, but damn, you know, I'm going to go 4 wins. I knew the expectations, once again, were low, but I didn't think that we were going to be that bad. 3-14, so I'm going to go 4 wins projected, but I'd say we're at least a 7-win team by now. 81 overall. Although you look at the Bears, they're an 80 overall, and they don't really have a whole lot going on anymore. I will say they were the team that signed Tyrann Mathieu. I don't know if that really changes a whole lot, but they were. I mean, we looked at the stake grinding. I guess self-scouting. What kind of awareness is this? A week of film. Wait, they got rid of... Did they get rid of the injury one completely? I'm going to try the other one, the morale one, but really, dude? Maybe the morale one secretly does give you, because like that's the one that would be same as, you know, taking the break off. Yeah, give me the freaking XP, bro. No one wants no temporary boost. Look at that. 2,500 temporary boost. Like we believe stats even matter in the game, specifically for Sim. See, you have your players back, and sometimes they have yours as well back. Sounded like I just said the same thing. They have it as well for you. I don't know, dude. It's Star Dev, whatever. Don't even know what I'm saying. But 6-1, and I did not change the scheme one bit. I will be completely transparent. I had the Tampa Bay offense. I don't remember the actual formation, to be honest. I might have just kept it whatever the Jets had. And defensively, we have a base 4-3 Chiefs. That was the scheme we went 3-14 with. I just felt like I had 3 big receivers, or 3 guys that I wanted to get going at wide receiver, and that's kind of what the Tampa playbook does for you. The ground game, the running back, isn't super great here. I mean, in real life, there's all the potential in the world, but in game, those smaller type guys just don't really do well in Sim. So I felt like it made the most sense. Kind of gave me that Ronald Jones vibe, but yeah, I will say also we're not having a really good turnaround here. 6-1, it's turning around all right, just not a good way. Man, we have been on a massive slide, dude. What is happening? Williams was a 5th-year option guy, and I was like, you know what? Even though it's probably not smart as at all, I think in real life, for one, I gotta figure this out. So he's at least a 20 mil per year guy, right? I think since we're making it a 7-year, 20 mil per year is fine in that case, especially since more than half of it's guaranteed. And then Jordan Whitehead, this honestly gets interesting because he's actually a decent player now, even though that zone coverage is a little iffy. The price is okay. I mean, you're getting him for cheaper than Ronnie, because obviously you're not having to go to the open market to get one, but I mean, I guess screw it, dude. I also forgot to put this guy at the fullback spot. Nice. All right, maybe I'm wrong. Michael Carter got a dev up at running back, obviously, and he gets a star with 10k XP. That's massive. All right, I don't know if we win, if we're even in, to be honest, and we are, because we do win. We do not get the division, though, but if you've seen that glimpse, we were 6-1 at one point, and here we are now at 10-7. Not a great turnaround, to be honest. Well, once again, I keep calling it a turnaround, but, like, we lost to the Raiders there, but got that last-second win. 0-34, I just seen. I don't know who that was against. It might have actually been the Bills. Kind of quickly glanced. But seeing some new teams, or new players on new teams, doing pretty well for themselves. Zach Wilson, 29 in offensive yardage. Really? Are we that bad? Our run game must have sucked then. 3rd in defensive. You can see 26 in rushing for Mr. Michael Carter. I mean, he's star dev, but once again, he's just not really playing well. Like, what's his ratings? I mean, he's kind of a decent balance, decently balanced player, I guess. An 83 overall now. See that truck plus 10? He's sick, but obviously not going to be the case. Receiving, Garrett Wilson, the leading receiver for touchdowns again, I believe. Yards, he's kind of just like in between a little bit. Not by a whole lot, but, that yards per catch isn't really as high as we'd expect it to be. I expect that to be his thing, is, get a lot of yards after the catch. Not really doing that. Corey Davis is kind of holding up with everyone, and Uzama, not actually terrible either. So, I mean, once again, I don't know if overall plays a factor or if it's really how they play, because if it's not overall, then we don't really need to upgrade tight end. But Carl Lawson, 11, 9.5 for Jermaine. So some improvements on the D-line. Sack totals, Parham with 4 sacks, Gardner with 2. I mean, it's hard to tell how good a cornerback is doing in Sim, because there's just really nothing that shows that, right? There's catches allowed are just completely randomized. I mean, every corner. I bet you if we looked at Jalen Ramsey and, Jair Alexander, their catches allowed are pretty high too, I'd say. 40 catches allowed for Jair, 34 for Stokes, yet they played, Stokes actually played more downs than him. So, I mean, there's really no way for me to tell who's good other than interceptions, which, once again, is a completely randomized number as well. But yearly awards, let's take a look. I don't think, Wilson kind of played better than last year in a way. He did get to number 10 on that list. Any rookie awards? Parham with the Rookie of the Year on defense, which is nice. And no one else. But a couple, like I said, new guys, or old guys playing for new teams on the top of the list. And obviously, the Jets already here in the postseason, going against the Broncos. I mean, some pretty good drafts here over the last few years, and they've built themselves a roster good enough to compete. Now, since it is the Jets, I will be ending the rebuild at, if we ever win the Super Bowl or after 5 years. So we'll see. I mean, even if it's right here, which, let's be honest, it's probably not going to be. But I wouldn't completely rule it out. The Broncos aren't the toughest team in the world to beat. As I say that, we're probably going to lose by 40. But 10-7, halftime score. It's modest enough for a team that, once again, has avoided the playoffs like the plague. Avoided the playoffs as much as the Packers have avoided playoff wins, as you can see here. Like I said, I don't think we're ready to win, but I don't think the Broncos are like so much more deserving than us. I think as a roster, honestly, what the Broncos have lost over the last couple of years, I think, honestly, you feel like we're almost just as deserving, if not more deserving than them. I know they added Russell Wilson. We'll see how he plays in real life. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, Von Miller is a decently big piece, I suppose. As we have Garrett Wilson in the slot, and I probably should have taken that. He's got a hell of an arm, though. And that is a crazy play, and he's going to take it all the way to the 33. Hurry up to the line and spike the thing. Like I said, I believe in the man's arm. The guy's got some arm strength. Garrett Wilson on the inside. I mean, you're not really looking for anything underneath, but you're kind of setting that up. And we're just going to take the sack. I mean, okay, I guess Denver isn't missing anything with Chubb. I mean, of course, it's going to be a 4th and 23. I mean, this is just crazy. I guess Uzomah, I mean, I don't even know how big Uzomah is, to be honest, but could be looking for more as well. And not really open, misses the throw. It was just disgusting. What a terrible way to end the playoffs. I mean, that insane play, and then we just, like, choked it. We had nothing to do. All Madden's tough on next gen because the players don't really play like they're supposed to. The out routes are more or less C routes, and it's a lot of corner rounding rather than sharp cut making. And of course, we only had like a minute left with 0 timeouts. But Zach Wilson, I mean, didn't play too much worse than Russell. Russell was also pretty crap, to be honest. He just kind of got more from his run game. Not that it was like much. I mean, it was just kind of a bad offensive performance, both sides, realistically. Defensively, they had, similar pressure. It's just they found a way to get more points. I mean, there really wasn't a great performance from either side. I can't imagine the Broncos are going to end up going that far with the way they played against our team. I also have a stupid dead pixel on my screen. I can't fully see it, but, when it turns like gray or black on the screen, I can absolutely see it. Like, what do I have to do? Bring those like shock paddles out and like resuscitate the thing? Oh, that would be a fun one. Packers versus Raiders could be a fun one, dude. With Devontae there as well, who's going to win this? I mean, you got to think Raiders, right? Is what I would say if I was some sort of idiot. Both 10-7, and the Packers win. You know what, Stefania? You know what? I'm actually going to call her out on this. I'm going to take a look. A top 3 performance in the Super Bowl. I imagine, did it say quarterback, actually? I don't know what it said, but let's actually take a look. I'm going to call her out. Okay, if she's talking about Rodgers, the long was only 27, but 70% completion percentage, 4 touchdowns, 0 picks, 309 yards is pretty good. Jalen Reagor on the Packers, no, there's a chance that could happen. Don't do it. Kenny Clark, I mean, it must be talking about Rodgers, right? I don't know what the actual, what the facts are there. That is a pretty good game, so you know what, Stefania? You are okay. Is it Stefania? I don't know. You're allowed here today. This has been a season for the ages. I don't really agree with that. Okay. But headed to the offseason, I'm really itching to spend some damn money. And like I said, we just talked about not really needing a tight end. But honestly, if there's one there, I'm taking it. I don't care. I'm also potentially going to take a safety. I do like Ashton Davis, but I think Whitehead kind of got out in front and performed his way to a re-signing. But I will say Ashton Davis is a better zone corner or zone coverage guy, as Jermaine Johnson is an X-Fat. Oh, was Parham a superstar? Hold up, dude. We're kind of cooking here. Parham was a superstar already, it appears. Lawson goes up to a superstar, which is super clutch because he just turned 28. I didn't even look at offense. I kind of just glanced over that. Offense didn't have anything. All the offensive linemen were actually star development trade, which, I mean, it's not like something that sucks or anything. It's like, oh, no. But maybe even running back. I mean, I don't know, dude. I think Michael Carter's all right. I just don't think he plays that well. Like, his ratings are okay. He just sucks in sim. Last look at... receivers that we need to re-sign. I will say we're going to lose Braxton Berrios here, but At least he'll be in the division when he joins the Patriots on like a 5-year, $270 million fully guaranteed deal. But 102 mil, we do have to probably pay Zach Wilson very soon. Oh, you got to take the risk. This is a contract or a guy that I don't know if the Giants will move on from, but based on his injuries, based on the fact that they can't really field a competitive roster, I do feel like Saquon could ask for his way out. Like, it's not all about money. I mean, it kind of is, but like if the Giants aren't going to give him some super guaranteed deal, I could see him walking away from that team just based on, not having a great roster around him. Of course, Darnell Savage, that's a guy that could also leave Green Bay. He's a pretty big... I mean, we have to re-sign Ashton anyways, so why not just give a guy a contract that, maybe a little bit more than Ashton, but not like crazy out of this realm. We're spending some money, but you got to spend money to make players come to you. I was going to say make money, but that doesn't make any sense. Although, I mean, I guess winning games makes money, right? Of course, Ellen Jenkins, whenever I see him in free agency, it's always so damn tempting, but I'm going to pass on him here. And Saquon, that's a new name. I like it. Hardman could be another guy that leaves Kansas City. Not necessarily I guess he is kind of the type of receiver we want, but if we're going to spend money on a free agent wide receiver, I kind of want a bigger guy as we have a lot of small, underneath type of guys already. So, I don't know if I think I'm going to pass on that. But overall, obviously, one of the big things that we keep mentioning, and it's factual, is that we have the majority of the actual players we want on the lineup. The positions are all set. We just need more seasons under the belt, and adding Savage and Saquon could also be super huge for this team. Which, of course, we were offering pretty lucrative deals, and I think they were actually pretty fair for the market of today, if not maybe even a little bit low, to be honest. But it's hard to tell for Saquon because of that injury concern. But, yeah, I mean, we obviously added some pretty good talent. We still probably want to look at the linebacker position, tight end technically. But realistically here, I mean, we're in a spot where there's not a whole lot to draft. I mean, unless we find some guys that are like athletically gifted, like we find some insane athletic corner, near the end of the first round we can make a play for or something like that. I think it's just tight end and linebacker and we're good. Wide receiver is kind of a thought just because Elijah Moore is kind of maybe the number 3 rather than number 2, but at the same time, I feel okay with him out there at number 2. All right, so we have a pick 22. We might have more. I can't remember. But there is a pretty solid-looking cornerback. There's also a third-round guy. This guy is pretty athletic. I don't know if that, the CBCC, pretty close to something else with the B's and the C's, is really worth taking. We have a lot of guys like fully scouted here. I'm not sure what the hell we did to do that, but I appreciate it. That cornerback, he looks all right too. We do have a 1 to 2 round projected tight end who's, 4.59. It's not crazy fast, but it's pretty damn athletic. You also have this wide receiver. I mean, do you just load up on receiving talent when you don't really need it? But Creighton does look pretty freakily good. Linebacker, Kurt Edmonds. I mean, he looks pretty good with that B zone. There's some DT. There's a lot of talent here. I just don't know what we need the most. We also gave Mekhi Becton his 5th-year option on top of it. The Patriots take a white wide receiver in the top 5 picks. We literally just got done joking about that. What are the odds? Like, come on, dude. So all these guys are like 2 to 3s. So like, why not just move to like pick 15 in the second or something and accumulate a couple more picks to make more of those picks, which we need probably like 3 in the second round. Even though they're in division 35 and 40, it's about as good as we're going to get from the game. The game just never gives you decent value. And they're going to end up taking Shelton Adams. I don't even know if that guy's any, decent or not, but we're going to end up trying to trade down again, maybe to like 12 if we can. Jaguars are willing to give us pick 41 with a 4th round next year to move down like 6 spots, which I'm cool with. And I think we're going to take our first pick here, which probably is going to be Creighton, even though wide receiver's not that big of a need. This guy is pretty sick. Like, he's insanely fast. He's around 1 talent. I'm going to grab him. 6'1", 186. Kind of reminds me of like a slightly faster Garrett Wilson. And, not even slightly faster. 97 speed. He's a freak. That is quite the draft pick. Going to move up 10 spots with the Bengals. Give them a 3rd next year, which is projected from... I don't even know who, but 65 is a pretty high projection, actually. Yeah, we're gonna end up grabbing another one of these players, which I suppose by need is probably the tight end. Yeah, I mean, tight end, I guess. Normal dev. 84 speed, 87 excel. I mean, I don't imagine he's going to start over Uzuma, but that sucks, actually. Tight end is a very hard position to draft in the game. It's just really brutal. But let's move up to the Buccaneers, I suppose, and I suppose take the final player we kind of need/want, which would be the linebacker. Maybe we make a play for the corner or some other position, but as far as what we feel like we had to get in this class, I think that is probably, all that matters. So we're going to go with the middle linebacker, Kurt Edmonds. Please be good. Normal dev, which, I mean, pretty much automatically makes him a bad pick for us. Like, I don't think he's going to be a bad player. I just think because we already have a guy that was normal, that was decent at outside linebacker, we don't really need him. So I was kind of just hoping for better dev. Didn't happen, though. Billingsley's a 3 to 4. What's our next pick? Screw, we're going to go to the Texans. We're going to grab Billingsley and call it a draft. So we're going to end up giving them 6 and 7 with pick 33 for 65, which I know looks like it's really lopsided in their favor, but you got to remember that team, especially since they know it's our pick, is thinking, okay, that could be a Super Bowl pick. This could literally be one spot, So it's really more about them moving out of this draft than it is about trying to get equal value or good value, I suppose, or great value. But let's go with Cortez Billingsley. Super raw player, but athletic enough. Got that 1 to 2 talent grade. He's a 3 to 4 projecting. He's 6'2". I'm going to grab him. And he is normal, but once again, he does have that athleticism that you can build on. But, I mean, these, assuming they're not like complete busts, even the normal dev guys, I imagine, are pretty talented guys. I imagine they are pretty decent, but yeah, we're not hitting the hittens like we wanted. And oh my, the last player we have left is Beltran. Who is very fast, obviously. Beltran. But enough trading up. I think it's time to trade down. And we're going to get a 3rd and a 6th next year from the Buccaneers, which I mean, it's a good pick. I think the Buccaneers could definitely do worse. That probably did benefit them more than us, to be honest. Kind of similar trade that we just made to make a trade up for a player that we're kind of iffy on. Percy Jackson. Things are getting crazy. Yeah, I don't know who our cornerback scout is, but he's an actual nutcase. Like, look at this. He's like, we literally have all of this. Day 3 is a 3 to 4 projected. Why not add some depth? Pretty athletic, I suppose, with the speed. It's just so rare that you see, like, literally everything scouted. Like, you could see the whole freaking class here. Of course, sure as hell didn't help us any since we ended up drafting a bunch of bad players regardless. Let's go some DT depth, I suppose. He's going to be trash, but yeah, 80 strength for a defensive tackle. Nice. He looks like a Jeff. Like a G-off, not like a Jeff with a J, but a G-off. And he's gonna G-off the team when we release him. Of course, looking at the overall, 77 overall for a 2nd-round wide receiver. Obviously, he looked insane with that speed, but yeah, Jeff is, he's gone. Creighton, I think, honestly, is your number 2 out the gate. I think, once again, I want Elijah as the number 3, and I think Creighton's that number 2 guy, star development trade. I'm trying to think. Number 2, he's obviously going to be a starter. I kind of want to see like what Elijah's good at, but Otis McCain anyways, pretty bad, honestly. Really bad, actually. Kurt Edmonds, once again, not a bad player as we suspected, but just not a... Ooh, that catching is pretty good, though. But just not a guy that we're going to be able to start over the guys we already have. Billingsley, once again, potential, but... Yeah, this is a pretty bad draft for us. I mean, obviously that wide receiver is like generational-looking talent, but considering we had some pretty good picks, I don't know. But let's take a look at that corner. Nick Barkley was the guy we were going to look at. Hidden development trait, pretty athletic. I mean, he just kind of reminds me of the corner we did take, and this guy just has hidden development trait. Obviously, it's probably because he was in the 1st round, but star development trait. I mean, it's not much different, right? The tight end we took was also, I suppose, there was a couple of okay comparative ones, but our guy was the clear-cut best. Gregory Marshall, similar, but obviously not as good. Trent Teague, 23. Will Atkinson. I mean, some of these guys had a chance to maybe be hidden, but as far as like who was the clear-cut best, ours was obviously the best. There's just no debating it, and I think we've seen here that it's factual. We signed Jimmy Garoppolo, and we traded Corey Davis to the Texans for a 4th-round pick. This is what the wide receiver room looks like now, and I mean, I think it's solid. I think, like I said, I mean, the thing is, Elijah Moore is really good as a deep threat receiver. I mean, it seems like all the players are in Sim for upgrading, but Jamar Creighton is already good at deep threat. He's got a better freaking release, better jumping. I think Elijah Moore is the new number 3. 85 overall Jets. This is what the team looks like for year 3. It's a pretty good squad. We added Saquon, who is a huge name, obviously. Goes from New York to, well, super far, New York. Obviously, Zach Wilson's an 81 overall now. Let's go with, like, field general. I imagine he's already a pretty good deep threat quarterback. Throwing deep is, I guess not. He's actually pretty balanced still. Looking at the defensive side of things, of course, a couple of X factors now for the defense. It's a really solid squad. I mean, it's getting there. We're very, very close. We obviously already made the playoffs, and we started off at like 6-1. Just gotta, continue that, follow through. Of course, Darnell Savage is a pretty big upgrade at free safety. Got a lot of athleticism. Obviously, Ashton already had that, but not as good as Savage. It would have been nice to see Jordan Davis, not be as good. Jordan Whitehead not be as good, and it was Ashton Davis that got better, but, it didn't kind of happen that way, so it is what it is. Year 3, we're still progressing very, very quickly, so, I mean, I can't really be mad. Even now, year 3 could be the year. Year 4 at maybe the most, I would see, but once again, you do see in Sim, it's completely random, so we could have the best overall and still suck. Also, the first camp breakout, which is a little bit of a surprise. Ooh, and it's Hall. Carl Lawson wants a contract, and he's been pretty good, so a 3-year 50 is probably a little bit more fair for him rather than the pretty low asking price that they had, maybe even slightly more since he's only 28. Bryce Hall, 86 overall. He's actually a little bit better than I thought he was going to be at this point, but all right, a 5-year worth, probably about 70. A 5-year 71.5 is probably more fair. Ashton Davis as a backup that's not that crazy, but I am a little worrisome that we're maybe spending a little bit too much money because we're just used to having so much of it. DJ Reed, I actually do think is a pretty good player. However, we do have Billingsley as our number 3, so I think we can kind of let Reed go, although that price is pretty competitive. It's pretty low, honestly. But Braden Mann, grab our punter back on a 4-year deal worth, about 10 mil. And what else do we have? Everyone else is pretty much backups. All right, 9-7, and we're in the playoffs again. We actually take the division. What happened to the Bills? The Bills were like, I don't even know. They had like 8 wins early on in their, what is that called? Early on in the season. Was it early? Maybe they did. I don't know, dude. But 9-8 Bills, we take the division, but we don't get a bye week. Obviously, we're only 10-7. But let's take a look at the stats and awards. Zach Wilson at number 2. Haven't changed the schemes at all because I feel like they are decent enough, right? 4th in yardage now. Saquon probably broke through. Yeah, even with Saquon, who's a super god tier player in Sim, even he wasn't like crazy great. Like his yards per carry were great. His touchdowns were really good, but his yards barely over 1,000. Garrett Wilson killed it. Absolutely crushed it. Offensive line, I actually haven't even paid attention to be honest. But Jermaine Johnson seems to get better every single season. Carl Lawson, slightly better every single season as well. The DTs played pretty well. Picks, Bryce Hall with 6 of them. Gardner with 2. Bryce Hall could be a superstar. Perfect timing after a, 5-year 70 we gave him. That's a really good year. Is it good enough for a Super Bowl? I don't know. But it was as good as any team's season, to be honest. Any award wins. Zach Wilson was pretty decent, though. Garrett Wilson, though, with the Wide Receiver of the Year award. Not bad. I'll show you. I did change something with the scheme. I changed to vertical zone threat, but I changed that last season when we were going for, what is it called? Maybe even before. Yeah, it was last season. Michael Carter's breakout. Put it on vertical zone run. But, of course, looking at the matchup, both teams are an 89 overall, which I'm actually kind of curious. The Ravens aren't really super great in Sim usually, so I don't know if just a lot of teams are high overall, but that seems kind of like a high overall, no? Like, I can get why we're in 89 overall because we have so many young players with high dev. But the Ravens, I mean, yeah, they have Lamar. Got a couple of, offensive weapons. But, yeah, I guess they have Humphrey as well. I don't know. It's just, I feel like they're just higher overall than I would have expected. But 19-0, not a good start. Defense, not going to hold. I mean, they're going to need a miracle here. They are only down by 12. But the defense is just really doing nothing here. I mean, they're just getting smoked. But 15-point deficit, it would be a miracle. It would be a miracle. I'm not going to deny that. But there's a chance. With 52 seconds left, did they go for the onside? They did. I mean, we know what happened last time I came in, but I don't care, dude. I'm going to try again. Screw it. Dobbins looking like Ray Rice out here. I know people have probably said that. And Lamar, I mean, he's not in the zone, so I'm just saying, could have fumbled. I kind of want to give them a little bit of yards to work with so that they feel like, hey, let's go for the field goal. Screw it. Once again, they're in a situation where why would you do anything but run it? I don't know. So we're going to try and defend the run as right off the gate, insta-pressured. And maybe now you do play a little bit more into coverage because you're just like, yeah, just in case, you know, 3rd and 13. But, I mean, I'd probably just, you know, sit it out, you know, just make sure you waste every single timeout we have, which is unfortunate, but that's the way they go with it. Of course, from the 46, it's going to be like a perfect punt on top of it. This would be a miracle. With the 2-point needed as well. Just find ourselves in this situation a lot. And, well, it is Madden AI punting after all. Garrett Wilson, actually not looking half bad here. Barkley wearing number 10. Oh, we deserve to lose, honestly. And, ooh, what is that ability? I don't think he caught that. I'm just going to be honest with you. I imagine they're not going to let me super... Oh, they would let me supers. Did he really catch that? That did not look like it was caught. Wow, that is about as close as possible. I thought it was out. That, I mean, it's a really good catch, I suppose. You also have the chance to Creighton if you don't like anything else. And it took a while to get there, but Wilson's going to get it again, and I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you, this is why I felt like it wasn't in. This man cannot keep his feet in bounds. Oh, hold up. Is that it? That is in, I think. Review it. Yeah. Oh, my Lord. Garrett Wilson. The Wilson to Wilson connection is filth. I think that's in there. They're going to have a better angle at it. I want to see the slow motion of it. I think it was in, but it's hard to tell. We're not going to really get a great look. Oh, that's in, dude. Give us the ball at the 29. 25. Yeah, that's what I meant. We're still going to choke this away, though. Who's this? The tight end? Uzama? I will say, if you were going to expect somebody to get open, for someone to be thrown to / targeted here, screw it. Oh! I will say, the cornerback definitely, you know, did as well as possible to limit us. That's kind of why we couldn't get it there. He's kind of just kept not letting us get in the lane. And that is a wide open player, but under pressure misses the throw. Creighton's a freak. This is a very good offense. This offense should not be stopped. Creighton on the crosser. I don't like this because it just seems too easy. The game doesn't really seem good at stopping crossers. Although they do got that pressure. Creighton, touchdown! Now he can hit that throw on the money, but the other one he misses? Come on, brother. Of course, I don't know what ability Garrett Wilson has here, but it seems pretty good. And we're going to trust Creighton again, and he gets it. It's all tied up with 6 seconds left. I don't care, dude. You seen what happened, the other one. The other try, I absolutely failed it nearly immediately. You know? Although it doesn't seem like it's going to matter. Although we get the stop. Jets are going the wrong way, but they get a huge play to Denzel Mims of all players. What? Wait, huh? What? Huh? What just happened? If it doesn't say fumble or something like that, I am absolutely redoing this. It was a fumble. Idiots. No, we did so well. Wow, that's harsh, but okay. I mean, the Jets lose in Jets fashion. Of course, you got to love that Saquon was 2.8 yards per carry on 10 attempts. Once again, we're not a run-heavy team. The Ravens, they said, hey, Dobbins, here you go. But that's just unforgivably bad. I can't believe, though, speaking of, wow, look at John Franklin Myers with tackles for a loss, but can't believe how open those receivers got on all Madden. Jesus. Once again, the route running is not even that great considering how good these players are apparently, the way they, the separation they can get with their speed. I mean, the route running is still very rounded route running rather than quick cuts. But yeah, what is that ability? It must be like route tech or something like that, because that was some speed from Garrett Wilson. Yep, route tech, I figured. And I suppose grab and go kind of makes sense for him, so I'm going to give him grab and go. Not that I really, it doesn't really matter too much anyways, but pretty good regular season, squandered postseason. We're headed to season 4. Cowboys back in another Super Bowl, but this time against the Colts. And the Colts win. How? Who the hell did the Colts draft? They must have drafted QB. No way they're doing that with Matt Ryan, right? Is it? Miguel Perez. Interesting name. Decently athletic. Absolutely gives me Deshaun Watson vibes, though. Holy crap. That's like literally a Deshaun Watson clone. And Cam Newton's there. Nice. Let's take a look at that Ravens team real quick. The one that we lost to. Once again, Marquise Brown's here. I didn't get a chance to like change every player on the roster, but yeah, there's some pretty high overalls, obviously. But I mean, you look at the rest of their line, like we got to do better pressuring that line. Like that is not a good line. D-line's not even that great. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. But for re-signings, I think we've kind of done all the re-signings we need to do. I do need to change Saquon's number. That is just disgusting. Number 10, dude. I thought it was the backup or something. I was like, even the backup, it's kind of bad, but I suppose Michael Carter's the backup technically now. But yeah, that's just awful. All right, Zach Wilson's an X Factor. Same with Garrett Wilson. Both of them now upgraded Wilsons. They're both X Factor Wilsons. Nice little upgrade there. And of course, he's a terrible short route receiver, but he's very good deep. Double me, which, I mean, it's good enough, I guess. Zach Wilson, what's his ability? Was that the first one free? Run and gun? I mean, kind of, And it might seem broken as hell, but obviously gunslinger. Well, like, what at this point, what is his throw power? It's got to be, like, close to 99. 97. I don't even know how much that is better than normal. Really hoping there's a god-tier tight end in free agency, because that's the glaring need we have, if any. As you can see, Gardner and Bryce kind of fighting for best cornerback here. But yeah, I mean, realistically, I'd be looking at going for, if there's some sick linebacker that's not going to break the bank, which doesn't sound likely, and or a tight end. I mean, what do you even do with this team? This team is already goated. We had that insane draft class with the linemen. Last year's draft wasn't very good for us, but didn't need to be. We already kind of got what we needed with, well, it helps when you get pick 1 overall. Oh, Justin Jefferson, the Saints. Bruh, dude. You have to pay Elijah Moore as well. The Jets getting Justin Jefferson. That's just unrealistic, dude. He's a Viking. He's going to get a second contract from Minnesota without a doubt. Tyron could help, but he's not that big of a help. Pass rusher's not that big of a need. 2 as an 86 overall. I mean, unless, like, even, I mean, Tyler Higbee's not that good of a tight end to be going for him. I mean, I feel like we just have to save our money for, I mean, we probably do have to pay, like, Zach Wilson and whatnot, but, like, what can you do? You can't pay Justin Jefferson because he's just going to be a Viking again. Like, they're absolutely going to pay him. He's way too young to be let go, especially when Adam Thielen would be gone at this point. So it just makes no sense. Mike Williams isn't good enough for us to be, like, grabbing him to replace anyone. It's just another free agency that just doesn't fit our needs. So, fifth-year option, Zach Wilson. We obviously did that for Mekhi Becton, who we're going to have to pay this season. And then we're going to do this for Zach Wilson, who we'll have to pay the next season after this. So, I guess not the worst thing to save money, because we do have some pretty big names about to have to be paid. Elijah Vera-Tucker, no, because we're just going to sign him. He should be a little bit cheaper, very similar to that fifth-year option anyways. All right, I think we're going to try this again. Looks pretty good, very athletic. He's 6'6". We're going to try the position again. We're going to go for it. Coleman, and he is hidden, which is a huge win, of course. Jumping sucks. Didn't actually remember seeing what his vertical was. I don't really care about that too much for sim players. But, I mean, honestly, I don't even care about that anymore in general. And the guys don't jump anyways, it seems. But he looks really good, and he's going to be the starting tight end, as we obviously lost Uzomah. Couldn't find a decent tight end other than maybe like a Higbee second round. I'm kind of just going random on this. Like, I'm not really like, I didn't fully scout pre-draft every single position because I I feel like we don't really need much. We just got to repay the guys, re-sign the guys that we have on the team currently and just don't lose those names. I mean, like, what do you really need? Wide receivers are set. Running back set. D-line. I guess we'll take a look at edge and safety just for potential futures, replacements. Route, of course, got to star dev. I mean, I don't know. Two options. We have Mr. No, it's not him. Jerry Hickman, who looks okay, but I don't know a whole lot about him. I know he's a beat block shed, decently athletic for a 6'4", 270 guy. Bench press is all right, but I have a C finesse on him. Whereas this right end, Mr. D'Angelo Green, 6'3", 266, B finesse, B tackle. Bench press does suck, but he's a finesse type. So if we're going to take a guess on one of them, I guess Green. And I got to admit, he's a little bit slower than I would have thought, which maybe kind of makes me wonder what that right outside would have been like. But like I said, I mean, we're kind of just drafting for replacing some guys that we might have to pay, in the future. But I suppose we just paid Lawson, so even though it's only a 3-year deal, technically 2 coming up, it didn't really need him either. Or that guy, at least. And we need Lawson, obviously. And for some reason, once again, we have all the freaking corners scouted again. And we're going to bet against the Raiders. They're going to give us a 4th round this year and a 3rd next year to take pick 14 off of us. We don't really have any players, like I said. I mean, we just got, most of the players ready to go. Just need to keep developing. Just keep on developing. And we're still adding some players here and there. I guess we'll look at center. Day 3. Maybe not. Screw it. Day 3, I don't care. 88 overall strength. Normal development trait. He's pretty undersized as well. Might still be decent. Kind of remind me of Kendrick Green, perhaps, even though he's not as athletic. Really good value, just not hidden. Get a 4th off the Giants. That's a pretty good steal. We did get a 6th round back as well, but doesn't really matter too much. Let's trade some things down. Once again, the realism is kind of going out the window a little bit just because of how insanely well the Jets have drafted in real life from Madden. And how well we had of a draft with those offensive linemen. We really just aren't chasing anything at this point. And we get a 3rd round pick off of the Broncos. Kind of knew that was going to happen before clicking it, but yeah, same. We're going to go with Adrian Coleman, 6th round quarterback, have a decent backup, 86 throw power. It's not great, to be honest. Decent throw power is not 86, in my opinion. Decent would be like 88, I'd say, at least. 86 is not decent. It's pretty poor. Then we're going to go Joel Love as a backup running back. Not super athletic, but, he is like a near 7th round pick. We ended up getting 2-6 for our 7th, and we're going to grab a fullback with our final pick. 81 strength, 71 speed. Another normal. But our one and kind of only position of need was tight end, and we appeared to have drafted a very, very good one. 6'6", extremely fast. Probably should have been even faster. I think it was, 88 speed? If I'm not mistaken. I kind of want to take a look at that outside linebacker as well. 88 speed, 88 excel, 88 or 86 agility, actually. Aggressive run after the catch. You'd want possession if anything. No truck ability. His catching's a little raw, but once again, he is 6'6" with speed, and he's hidden. Probably going to be star dev, but still better than the current starter we have lined up. I don't know why they always give him in the 40s when we have all these numbers available, and he is a superstar, actually. That is a really good pick. Like, that's amazing. Oh, my. Never mind. He's a trash can. Well, he's pretty bad. He's pretty bad. Everyone else is pretty bad, too. Green, D'Angelo Green. What pick did we take him? Was that a 2nd round pick? He's not terrible. He's got some traits as well. That's not a good 2nd round pick, though. Let's take a look at the outside linebacker as well. See if we made a huge mistake or not. We took him at 12, so he had to be after, obviously. Here he is, Hickman, 66 overall. Kind of seems similar, right? A little bit better in block shedding. They're both very similar players. Probably rather have Hickman just because he's a little bit bigger. Maybe you somehow make the argument for DT. All right, Season 4, the team looks pretty much the same. Creighton is still the number 2 because he's just an absolute freak down the field. He's so fast. 97 speed. He's just a freak. Coleman also is a freak, as they say. 6'6", 88 speed is crazy. The offensive line has developed pretty damn fast here. Mekhi Becton's going to ask for a fortune. Jermaine Johnson, 86 overall. I thought he would have developed a little bit faster since, of course, he's playing really well. It's just, those overalls aren't really coming too quick to him. It's a really good team. We've already said that a billion times. Bowers really hasn't. I mean, the linebacker's kind of iffy a little bit for upgrading, but yeah, let's get another season on our belt and see if maybe year 4 is the Super Bowl, if any of the years are. Once again, like I said, Sim can just completely control everything, so we might just have a really good team that, once again, never wins it. You can see the Rams are only an 80 overall. We're at 91. All right, so Mekhi Becton's a 5-year 111, and to be honest, it's probably more than that. If you could get a guy that could do what he can do, I mean, he's absolutely insane. You give him, what was that, a 5-year 70, actually, or a 7-year 70, which is still probably pretty low, to be honest. Wait, how is he being developed? Of course, he is a tackle. I think this has happened a million times now, but he's developed as a power guy, which he technically is, I know, but, you know, you kind of want to work on finesse when you are a power guy, right? So, it's a little iffy, but a guard, obviously not as important as a tackle, so we're going to be going with a 5-year 80, which, I mean, even then is still probably a little low, but I'll take it. It's all right. Elijah Moore is very valuable, but he's now in the slot role. If I was him, I'd be like, yeah, get me out of here. Get me on a team that's going to actually play me, you know, out wide, even though his size isn't really like that. But a 4-year 60 for a non-X wide receiver, you know, X receiver, not like, you know, an X wide receiver like he used to be, you know. But Michael Carter, 4-year 14. It's not terrible. Nizruldin kind of wasted him a little bit. Not a bad backup, but we have a bunch of linebackers on the team. I mean, that Michael Carter contract's not terrible, but how has he even actually played as the backup? Like, is he actually, like, providing any value? Like, I mean, that's pretty basic numbers, right? I think we're on par. We went 10-7 again, I think. I don't know. It just seems like we haven't been past 10 wins. It wouldn't surprise me if that's the case. Might be time for a scheme change. I don't know, but we're in the playoffs yet again, so, I mean, I suppose. Ooh. Worst year yet for Zach Wilson. I mean, do we just change to the Chiefs playbook here? It seems unfair, but Jermaine Johnson's killing it, dude. He has gotten better every year. Like, very realistic progression. And Sauce Gardner, seems to be getting better as well. What was Garrett Wilson's season? Can't imagine it was great. Zach Wilson was pretty bad himself. But yeah, another 1,000-yard season. Very complimentary piece. Very good receiver. Award wins, I don't think we would have won any other than defensive lineman, rookie of the year. Who is... Oh, the tight end. I was about to say, who is that? I don't remember him at all, and I was like, oh, wait, never mind. Best kicker as well. But yeah, I mean, another iffy kind of season, despite the fact that we are one of the best teams in the league, if not the best. We'll take a quick look, though, at the rest of the league. So we are a 95 overall team, 87-88 so far is the highest overall besides us. 90 for the Saints. 90 for the Browns. I mean, the 90 for the Chiefs. The Colts are at 91 overall. That's a little surprising. Once again, they do have that Miguel guy, but you know, there are some very high overalls. Maybe the sliders are a little too high, but overall, we are the highest overall team. I mean, I kind of feel like it's fair to try the freaking Chiefs playbook. I don't know. Went with Green Bay's, and it obviously did not work in the slightest. Well, I can't say in the slightest. We still got to the playoffs. We just, you know, it's very smart to go off of the Packers playbook here, right, at the playoffs, too. Otherwise, I mean, you might as well just hand the game over. It's pretty much over anyways. I swear if we win this game but lose out on a Super Bowl run, I'm going to be pissed. So if you're not going to make it all the way, lose this game. I do not want to see it. Down by 1, down, up by 2, down by 5, up by 1. These, whoever missed the extra point or whatever happened in that situation absolutely sold this game, as we're like down an extra possession basically because of it. And somehow we scored, and we're looking to score again. It's all tied up at 35, and there's a pick. Good job, boys. Had a chance. I mean, the pick literally almost occurred at the field goal line. And honestly, with the way that they're running the ball with a chance, you haven't been able to really stop them all game, and you're gonna, you're running the ball on 2nd and 10 with almost a minute left? This team don't deserve a Super Bowl. What is this? Hello? I mean, can we not? Like, look how easy that was. Come on. We'll say you see those interceptions from Zach Wilson. I think that was... Oh, maybe I see why a little. Just a tiny bit. What is this thing? What is this play? I'm looking for Creighton, I think. Well, that's pretty good. That was a late hit on the quarterback, I think, as well. The backup tight end only gets a few, but that should be a penalty on them. They look like a helmet-to-helmet, even. Oh, it's an ineligible man downfield. Good job, Mackay. Yeah, that play was awful. I don't know what that was. Was this supposed to happen? I don't know what that was. I was looking for the deep play. I don't know what I just chose, but I will not do it again. I've learned my lesson. I don't know what that was. They don't look like they have anyone lined up over the tight end. It's a tough one. That's a dot, though. Hurry up to the line. Try to save that timeout. Not bad. 14 seconds remaining from the 43. Give maybe 10 more or so. And you don't know. Could be looking at a victory against the freaking Chiefs. And what do they tell you? Run the ball. Yeah, that's a smart call. I would agree with that. What is this? Like, there goes the tight end again. That was a tough one. I ain't gonna lie. My man's had a tough job there. It was 2 interceptions. Okay, it's not like terribly bad, but it's not terribly good either. All right. 49. Oh, crap. Okay, good thing they iced me because I did not want to actually do the thing. I kind of accidentally clicked it. But here it is. 49-yard field goal. And he hits it. The Chiefs are down. Oh, my. I mean, there's some pretty good overall teams still, but you got to think that Chiefs team is the team to beat other than us, but we can't, play ourselves. That's for, that's for when you're alone. But, of course, not bad. Not a bad performance. I mean, Mahomes wasn't that great either, so we just did enough, made enough plays. They also missed a field goal. I'm telling you, Harrison Butker did. Of course, we did miss an extra point, which ended up meaning we went for 2 to try and get back into that, kind of, even it up, and we missed that as well, so that we technically missed a field goal because of that as well. So kind of 2 missed field goals, 1 from each side. But we're headed to the divisional. We're seeing some victories. The Bengals are an 87 overall. Former Super Bowl attendee themselves, but a worse team than the Chiefs, and we cannot lose to this team. We just can't. Going to the end of the game, I'd say left to right is us. No one's scoring yet. The Bengals do score 7. We get 7 back. Defense is holding for both sides, really, and we're up by 6. Would really wish we didn't settle for the field goals. There you go, settling for a touchdown. Uh-oh, offense kind of sold there. Up by 8, up by 2. And the touchdown's going to give us the dagger for the win as we move on to the championship round. That is pretty solid. Obviously, Zach Wilson didn't really play super well again. Joe Burrow a bit better than Mahomes and Zach Wilson if you compare the last couple of games. Barkley has improved from last postseason. Creighton had a really good game there. What else? Carl Lawson was pretty good. Parham with a pick. Kicking was much better this week. Well, can't say much better. We just didn't miss that extra point, which could have ended up costing us the entire game. As we're going up against the Jaguars. Former number 1 overall pick, back-to-back, actually. And an 87 overall. On the other side, you have Dallas back in yet another chance for the Super Bowl. Of course, also the Niners. Jaguars moved down about as easy as possible. Nice rushing touchdown. Up 7 now. Up by 4. Up by 11. Great drive by Jacksonville before half. Up by 11. Up by 3. This is a big scoring battle. Holy crap. As Jacksonville gets stopped, but then they get another chance. I mean, there it is. I think. Yes. Wow. What a scoring battle. Who would have thought a championship game between the Jags and the Jets would be almost 100 points? That's actually crazy. Come on, Zach. Show me those numbers. I mean, better, right? It's definitely better. Wow. That's a lot of touchdowns on the ground. Freaking 8 if you combine both teams. 3 for Lawrence, which is crazy, but 4 for Barkley. Probably the best championship round performance ever. I would say definitely by a running back, right? Is that Carson Palmer? Cameron Parker. I'm getting old, all right? Zane Gonzalez missing a field goal. Matt Gay with 7 for 7 extra points, no field goal. What is that? That's crazy efficiency. Other than the fact that we probably turned it over multiple times, but still, pretty efficient. The Super Bowl, it's got to be the Cowboys. The Niners of all teams. It's been the Cowboys like the whole rebuild, pretty much. But let's take a look at our devs real quick. 10-7 versus 10-7. Dev ups, any? Offensively, no. not really a super surprise, to be fair. Defensively, I think Bowers and Gardner. I think Gardner Johnson. It's not Gardner Johnson. Jesus Christ. It's a Saints guy. No excuse for that one. But Ahmad Gardner, Sauce, gets the superstar, X Factor, Selfless. And I suppose, I think medium route KO would probably make the most sense. But let's get into this. Potentially the last game of the rebuild, regardless if we win or not. I think I might just call it. So I'm not too worried about actually winning the Super Bowl here. But here it is. The Niners, who are an 89 overall. The Jets, us, who are at 94 overall. Can they win a ring? The Wilson to Wilson connection. Can they do it? Really good drive, but failed to score. 3-0, 10-0, 17-0, 24-0. It's just so weird how we have these like really close games. You know, okay, relax. Yeah, I was about to say, when you have these really close games, and then the Super Bowl, we just smoke the team. Of course, the Niners showed some fight, obviously, but we ended up winning. And I mean, it's been so long since the Super Bowl, and of course, the Jets being in the Super Bowl. Who would have thought? You know, there's no way that the NFL would be like, that's not real. That's obviously a video game. I'm sorry, okay, Jets fans, but Zach Wilson came alive in the Super Bowl, coming out with, they were talking about that Aaron Rodgers, best performance I've ever seen. This would easily top that. 74% completion, 4% up on that. An extra touchdown, same amount of picks, which was 0, about 80 more yards. That's the performance we were looking for, earning that ring at a potential dynasty. I mean, this is a very young, good squad, as both kickers really sucked. We actually were going to go with Lutz, and I was like, I don't know if he's going to be a free agent ever, so just went with Matt Gay, and he missed a field goal as well. But winners, I mean, that was a really good job. Real life, like I said, the real life roster with those 3 first-round picks that they had, which were all really good on paper. I mean, it was pretty easy. You just have to draft a couple of linemen, and like I said, this would be a fun but also potentially too easy of a rebuild team going into the next Madden. It's just the way I see it, to be honest. But you know, playoff schedule, some really crazy ones in here. And yeah, I mean, we won a Super Bowl with the Jets. I mean, just in general, it's a tough team to win with because the game, like I said, I still have that feeling that in a conspiracy that the game kind of predetermines different team names rather than their base team. And well, then again, I can't say that because the Bills in Sim actually suck a lot. Like, they're usually really bad in Sim. But I just feel like a bad team is just bad no matter what, no matter how good they get. But I suppose we kind of proved that wrong here. Oh, actually, we had to play the wild card. I see how good this team is, and I was like, oh yeah, we just started the divisional. It is what it is, the Chiefs. Although I suppose if you're gonna, cheat any team matchup, that would probably be the one, to be honest, because the Chiefs are tough. But Garrett Wilson, let's take a look at him. Really bad short route, which, I mean, just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But insane medium, really insane deep. Got his speed and excel up even. And I think his agility was like 95. Really good wide receiver, obviously. Still has that drops passes, but just ignore that. Double me, route tech, and grab and go. Very, very good abilities. Zach Wilson, 92 overall. Haven't looked at him in a couple of seasons. And yeah, very solid short route. I mean, I suppose short accuracy is pretty bad on Zach Wilson, so I guess the route running sucking doesn't matter too much. Elijah Moore, we'll take a look at some of these other guys too, even though they're not the focus of this rebuild. Another medium and deep route expert, if you will. Release is pretty bad, though, to be honest. As Creighton, he's an 88 overall. He's a solid player, obviously. Jamar Creighton, 95 speed, 97 speed, 95 excel, 97 agility. Another medium, but mainly deep route receiver. The tight end, he's kind of a new addition, but I'll still take a look at him. I'm curious because of how big he is. 86 catching. He actually developed very fast. Once again, he was a superstar, but still, Mekhi Becton, we already looked at it. Probably wouldn't imagine he would have upgraded too much. Really good power blocker, obviously. Elijah Vera Tucker we'll take a quick look at. Did they develop him as a power? Of course, he's the finesse guy. The interior, I don't even want to talk about it, dude. Defensively, Jermaine Johnson absolutely killed it. We'll take a look at their career stats as well as of this point. 88 strength, went up in strength a little bit too. Very athletic. And then Garner, Sauce. Imagine he's a lockdown corner and man, and he is very good. Got a speed and excel a couple up as well. Hall, I guess, kind of a name that could be really important to their development. I mean, there's so many players here that are just really good and important. This is an underrated squad now. Once again, Madden's a little different than real life. In Madden, you have that dev that just kind of makes you good no matter what. If you have a decent dev, it seems. Whereas in real life, you can have all the potential in the world, but never live up to it, obviously. And Jets fans are like, oh, thanks for that. And we're finally optimistic, and there you go. And Parham's a pass rusher. What the hell is going on with the sim, dude? I can kind of see why sometimes it seems like we're really good of a team, but really we're not. We're just a team that gets built wrong through sim. But, like, you know how long it would take to do a rebuild if you were upgrading everyone manually? Like, at best, you're adding in several extra hours. I don't know how everyone else does rebuilds. I can't, dude. I just can't. That's too much time consumed. But let's take a look at those stats and awards for some of those youngsters and move on to the end of the video, I suppose. Really not much to move on to. I keep forgetting we actually just won the Super Bowl, but in his short 4-year career so far, 48 sacks. So averaging 12 sacks a season, which we know isn't true. The first 2 years he averaged, he combined for less than like 15. Really, really looking strong. Like a strong draft pick. Of course, Sauce I can't really say much about because all we really can go off of is interceptions, which is 9, which isn't terrible through 4 years, I guess. There's really not much to say about it. Kind of just look at his ratings. And through 4 years, Garrett Wilson averaging about, 1,250 yards per season with about 10.25 touchdowns a year, which is, about where you kind of expect pick 10 overall to go, especially with a Jets team. You kind of, expect those kind of numbers. It's pretty good, obviously. So, impressive draft, impressive rebuild, and overall the Jets, fans got to be pretty excited. They definitely nailed the draft, and I'm kind of excited to see what their outlook is like. They could surprise some teams, surprise some people in the real world, obviously. But once again, a very young team. So can you really expect much this year? Probably not. But yeah, team's getting better, and that's the rebuild. If you guys enjoyed this one, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new, follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr, and then second channel, Pkr Plays. Of course, should be another video kind of reacting to the Packers draft later tonight for day 2. It'll probably just be one. The first round, you'll sleaze it out for 2 videos, but, for the second one, unless they have crazy draft picks or they make some trade-ups and it just doesn't seem like, what is it called, round 3 is going to be anything. Like, you might as well just, upload whatever early. But probably just going to be one video for each of the next 2 days. For the draft, at least. Obviously, we'll have regular videos. And as far as rebuilds, let me know what team you want to see next. I know the Giants had a cool draft. The Eagles had a really interesting draft with, trading for a player and getting Jordan Davis. Really thought Houston should have stayed at, that pick and taken Jordan, though. You're looking at a team with so many needs. And you're like, okay, Jordan Davis is like 2 people, basically. So you're getting 2 players in one. Obviously, do what you want, I suppose, Houston. I would continue to trade picks as well. I don't even think I would have taken, honestly, if I was, well, maybe not Jacksonville, but Jacksonville or Houston, I would have been just looking to trade down, to be honest. Not that Jacksonville doesn't have talent, but I don't know. It's just like when your need or your want is edge. I know Trayvon kind of moves around, but you kind of, they could have just waited, I guess. There's a lot of consensus for like, oh, is Aiden Hutchinson the best? Is Thibodeau the best? Is it Trayvon? They could have moved down, I suppose. Jermaine went where the Jets took him. So I don't know. We'll see how it pans out, and yeah, probably not going to be a whole lot of rebuilds until the draft kind of settles and all the picks are kind of made, and hopefully someone makes some roster, which might take a couple of days. I can't be bothered doing that. Just 3 draft picks for the Jets, which isn't even like half of a draft class, was like, oh, that's just too tedious. Shout out to those guys. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys come back for next video. But until next video,